There is definitely so much to discuss. Basketball season is upon us. At least for high school is like official, and the kid over there at St. Mary's, absolutely amazing performance in his debut game this year. So shout out to Kevin McCabe. I know Kevin McCabe hits a lot of those things. E-Visions, Ball Dogs AC. Those are the guys that I see the most. I know there's a couple other companies out there that are taking care of business. I do want to show some love. Spread some of the good vibes and stuff like that to some of the people that have been working so hard. Not just my guy Gridiron Arizona, not just Adam Beadle, but like the WSS kids, the West Side Sports kids. Man, I believe it's Connor. My man was putting in the work out there at Corona del Sol. So I just want to show him some love. These guys work so hard coming up with the graphics, things like that. BJ Media, my guys sharing the sugar everywhere, and got the award show cooking. And I try to support as many of them as possible. Retweet stuff, like stuff on the gram, so the algorithms can pick things up or whatever, however that works and whatever that's worth. My guy, Timeout Dev has been going hard in the paint, doing stuff with ASU, high school games, trying to get some of the content, as much of the content as possible. So I think there's that for the Thanksgiving weekend hangover gratitude stuff. And I'm not like, it's just a tough industry to find real gratitude. Like I know that there's people that like say like, oh man, I'm just excited to be able to help these kids, but then like, privately they turn around and saying some of the most like damning things, and everybody just wants a platform to talk and feel like they have a voice that makes them important. And man, when I got into this originally, I literally just wanted to help create a platform that was going to give kids the opportunity to flourish using my ability to network and things like that. So there's that. Also, I want to show some love. Shout out to Will Stein, the OC over there at Oregon, getting an opportunity to coach SEC ball over there at Kentucky. And shout out to Coach Lapoy. I saw him earlier this year out at this game in California, and he's going to be taking over that Cal program. The DC over there at Oregon, Coach Lapoy has been both of the guys been absolutely amazing. Coach Lapoy been at Oregon for a little bit longer and doing his thing. But man, it's tough to ignore, the things that Coach Lanning has done over there at Oregon, bringing in these guys. His coaching tree is insane. And I say this respectfully, but he's like a seedling from like and I know it goes back before this, but like from the Saban like coaching tree. So like, it's Coach Saban's original tree that is insane with like Smart and Lanning and all these guys and Lane Kiffin and whatever. And now it's like Lanning, his coaching tree going absolutely insane. Coach Dillingham, and I know Dillingham had his grind through a couple of different channels and stuff. So man, it's just surreal to see how these things move. And also like Man, while we're on this, and the reason why I bring some of this stuff up, man, is because like the current way that the college landscape is working with these coaches and things like that, like um, this is tough. This is a tough landscape, man. Guys, when you're committing, um, make sure that you and this is not like I know people are gonna be like, oh, here goes Chili's selling ASU again. Coach Kiffin is not a bad human because he went from Ole Miss to LSU, contrary to what all them Ole Miss fans would have you want to would have you believe or have to have you try to believe. Um, in this world, everybody's got to try to level up and move up and get promoted and do better things. Defensive coordinators, offensive or defensive, got to try to be head coaches. Position coaches got to try to be coordinators and things like that, so on and so forth. And if they have to move in the process, if you got to move from Chandler to Red Mountain or Castile to Seton or wherever to like Valley Christian or Tonopah Valley, like to get your opportunity to level up and move up. If it makes sense for you, you got to do it. And in the process of that, like no matter what, and I know these coaches like kind of get punished, like how come the kids can't move when all these coaches can move so freely? Like, for the coaches, like they're always going to leave kids behind no matter what, because that thing doesn't stop. Like the kids coming in, like it doesn't stop. And for the kids, like, listen, I think that they should have the opportunity to move. Do I think that it needs to be absolutely crazy where like they can move like 5 and 6 times in their high school career? No, I don't. But should they be able to move once, maybe twice? Sure, why not? One time for free and second time minimal penalty. Are some of those things being discussed? Listen, I think that Dr. Dean is doing his best to make sure that he's keeping up with the changing times. I think he's done a fantastic job so far in running and overseeing the AIA. It's tough for me to say running because I know that they have like a board of directors that controls a lot of this stuff. So I don't want to put so much on him. But these coaches, like they got to level up too. So guys, when you're committing, and I know we got a handful of people committing tomorrow, a good handful, a big handful. So find a place with a coach that has his feet stable in the situation that he's in. Coach Dillingham, he uses the term lifer all the time. I genuinely believe that he is going to be at Arizona State for a long, long time. So you can count on seeing the same familiar face for a long, long time if you commit to ASU. So there's that. Other things that are going on, obviously, we got championship weekend over here. If you are in the 4A, 5A, 6A, and the Open. Last weekend, amazing championship games in the 2A and 3A. Shout out to Scottsdale Christian and the remarkable job they were able to do in overcoming a big deficit and winning the 2A state championship again. Also, shout out to Round Valley, the Elks, pulled off the shocker and beat Benjamin Franklin. I think that a lot of people were kind of stunned. Benjamin Franklin was an absolute machine. I want to give a quick shout out to Coach Norris for the amazing job that he's done over there. Really, not changing the program, but not changing the winning ways. Coach Jeffries, who was there previous, was very, very successful there. And Coach Norris, very, very successful there, but just very, very successful differently. So shout out to him and the amazing job that he's doing. But Round Valley, excellent job out there. Defense wins ball games, and they came up big when they needed to. So there's that. And we're about to find out who's going to come up big this weekend when they need to. And listen, I'm out here in LA, and my phone is blowing up yesterday because of this absolute egg that the LA Lakers laid. And I have so many parents and Adam Beatles of the world hitting me up like, hey, Chili, freaking the Suns are cooking the Lakers without Jalen Green, without Devin Booker. Look, I said the Suns would win like about 30 games, 30, 31, 32. I might be willing to raise that to 35, maybe. I'm not even sure yet. we'll see how this thing plays out. But I have said recently, like I've been to a Suns game. I like them. They look good. They're fun to watch. Like I understand like what the lure is to them. Like I understand why people like what they see out there. Gillespie absolutely balling, leaving his heart out there on the court every time that he plays. I like what the Suns got cooking. I like what the Suns are doing. Coach Ott is doing an amazing job getting the most out of all of his guys. The Iguodaros, they got dudes out there that are just leaving everything out there. Dylan Brooks looks fantastic, and I know that he absolutely buried the Lakers yesterday. I want to say he had like 30 something points or something like that. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but he did his job. He's absolutely done his job. My man plays with a certain intensity that can't be ignored every time he steps on the court. I saw somebody make a weird comment about Dylan Brooks on Twitter, on the app, that he plays like a guy that he plays like a guy that is chasing his next big contract, a big contract, and also has never backed anything up. That I don't think is completely true or fair. I think he was done dirty in Memphis, and I think he is an absolute culture guy. So there's that. I do got Gridiron hanging out. I know that he's waiting patiently. Because he can't wait to discuss some things on his Inside the Numbers segment. And there's also some things that I can't wait to discuss. I'm super excited. Also, if you had the chance, make sure that you guys check out the Dropping Dimes show that me and Cam Cox do on Mondays. Yesterday, we had two very, very special guests that we got to talk to. Check it out on the 12 Plus app. Your boy Chili. Hang out here for a second. We do got Gridiron coming up for the Inside the Numbers segment, everybody's favorite segment in high school sports in the state of Arizona, and maybe nationwide one of these days. You never know. Anyways, your boy Chili, hang out with me. Gridiron coming right back.
Yo, man, there's a lot of brothers out there flaking and purple. Scared to kick reality. Yo.
There he is. There he is. Gridiron. What up, man? How you doing? How you?
We are not doing a nationwide picking games.
hey, you never know. You never know
what could happen. A couple of schools in Mississippi to preview this week.
Oh man. Sometimes the money talks. Ask Lane Kiffin.
That's
right?
true.
So,
that's true.
But anyways, we got a slew of games. We have a slew of games.
We only got 4 games left.
Yeah, I know, but it's a nice slew. It's a nice small slew of games coming up this weekend, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. What games were you able to get out to this past weekend? I know you didn't hit anything on
last
Saturday,
week. You said. At Centennial for their victory over ALA Queen Creek. Okay. It was the first time that Centennial had clinched a spot in the championship game on their home field. Because you think about all those years that Centennials made the finals. And by the way, this is the 14th time in 21 years that they're playing in a final in a bracket. For a long time, the semis were at neutral sites, like they currently are in the Open. And then they just started doing the 6A a couple years ago on their home field. Last year, they had to win at Queen Creek to get to ASU. Had to wear the road jerseys for every round of those playoffs. You'll recall they snuck in at 3 and 7, and then they were like the 13 seed or something, and came all the way through. And this time they get to wear the home blue jerseys once again on Friday night when they play. Saturday afternoon when they play Castile. And then Saturday night, I was out at the Chandler-Hamilton rematch, which for 3 quarters was very, very solidly Chandler. Hamilton, late comeback attempts, but they were just down by too many points. And the Chandler Wolves surprising a lot of people there, including myself. I certainly did not pick them. I'll admit, I was on the Hamilton Liberty train for what I thought we'd be seeing this weekend, that Hamilton offense and the Liberty defense. But Basha showed that they have a defense too, and Chandler showed that they have an offense too. And that's who will square off, obviously, from the CUSD this Saturday night.
I have said for a while now, ever since I saw Chandler the first time against, I believe it was ALA Queen Creek, that this Chandler team is very, very much in the conversation of being at the top in the state of Arizona, just because of their offensive line play that I saw. They're big, they're physical, and they impose their will. They're imposed.
Not
Speaking
only
of wills,
that, but
speaking of wills,
same five offensive linemen every snap all season, which is very rare, not just at the 6A level, but at any level, that you can avoid the injury bug for 12 games and have everybody healthy.
Speaking of wills, where there's a will, there's a way. But your boy Chili, I was out there at Corona del Sol checking out Liberty versus Basha. Listen, Gridiron, just so you know, I got the heat. Mm-hmm. I had a few of the Basha parents say, "Oh, so y'all wanted to show, y'all wanted to show love on your spotlight to the Liberty kids. How come you didn't show love to one of our guys that's signing?" And I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" I'm like, "Listen, that was Gridiron. That was Gridiron. I support it."
Sent me out. I would have had taken that heat, yeah.
because they did.
We will admit that was my pick to do. Paz St. John as our spotlight player last week. I think you wanted to do a Basha player, and I said, wait, they play Liberty. I don't know if I want to do that. and then I stuck with the Liberty guy, and you accepted it, and even though you weren't fully on board with it, and thanks for taking some heat for me.
they did bring that up. They did bring up, hey, Chili, we noticed that you were a little bit uncomfortable. So we'll try to figure that out a little bit later in the show. Look, big matchups over here, all the way around, 4A, 5A, 6A, the Open. One game that I do want to talk about before we get into any of this is this 5A matchup between Canyon View and Desert Mountain, which I think is absolutely spectacular. Canyon View playing some amazing ball right now. I said from the beginning, Coach Alcantara is one of the best builders of culture that I know of in the business. And what he's been able to do there at Canyon View in his first year, absolutely amazing. Gridiron, real quick, your thoughts just on Canyon View.
It's two teams that are in the championship game for the first time, which is always exciting. Obviously Canyon View, a newer program. I think it's only like their 8th varsity season. They've gotten that passing game working. Brady Scott, another huge game last weekend in their win against ALA Gilbert North. And here they are gonna take that passing game up there against Desert Mountain. Desert Mountain's had to see some teams try to run some wildcat on them here in these playoffs. Desert Mountain's also had to play an extra game throughout this whole thing. This will be their 15th game in 15 weeks for them, but that defense has been on, spectacular. Easton Connor was back last week. I think he had a touchdown in that game, and it should be a really good one Friday night out at ASU for the 5A.
Yeah, no, it's going to be exciting. And Desert Mountain, I think, is absolutely fantastic. Coach Hamilton does an amazing job over there. And I'm especially fond of my guy, Ryan McDonough, who I think is a super talented athlete. But they got dudes all over the place. And Grant Garduno, the play of that quarterback right now has been absolutely essential for the success of that team. Not just I know a lot of people think like, hey, just the Easton Connor show. But I think Grant Garduno is really doing his part over there. Multi-sport athlete, so I did want to show him some love. All right. Let's get to this 4A matchup. I want to talk about these guys. This is one game that me and Gridiron decided to pick for the docket. Listen, we all got to see Micah Mountain last year make the trip to Sun Devil Stadium and absolutely cook. Arcadia, this is a team that I feel like we've kind of been waiting for to have some postseason, second season playoff success, because this team is typically a regular season juggernaut. And then they're a Smurf come the postseason. So
they're a little more than just regular season juggernaut if you look back the last 3 years.
They've done okay. They've just never been able to close the thing out. They've never been able to close the thing out. So shout out to Arcadia, the amazing job that they've done this year. But real quick, on Micah Mountain, Coach Jay Campos over there leading the team and doing a great job of it. Jaden Chris, super talented quarterback. Pair of running backs over there that can go. Jeremiah Anderson and Colin Axford. Riley Carson, I think, is a special athlete that we've all kind of been monitoring for the most part. Wide receiver athlete, goes both ways. And then another athlete over there, Evan Wheeler, does a lot of things, especially on defense. Linebacker, Broden Schmidt, and defensive lineman, Najee Anderson. This kid's an absolute specimen, long, and I know that you're going to get into all of that. And then X factor for them, this defensive back over there, Nick Regina. He's a patroller that can, track down the ball and come up with the interception. On the flip side, Arcadia, led by BJ Pascal, and this is a team that we've talked about numerous times, unlike Micah Mountain, a rookie to the Inside the Numbers segment. One of my favorite players in the state. This kid, Zach Smith, this quarterback, this athlete. He hasn't had a chance to really show a lot what he can do with his feet. He might get that opportunity in this game, so we'll see. But running back Ryan Jimenez has been solid for them. These wide receivers that they got over there, Connor Camus, this kid can absolutely go. He's got some speed, a track kid. Ian Slater does a nice job catching the ball, making plays. Defensive lineman Julian Olshan's been a dog for them all season. Linebacker Braden Knobb, and then athlete Jax Ashley. He can do it all. Play some offense, contribute on defense big, and also do some special teams work. They got another defensive back over there that's been special for them. But I'll let you go inside the numbers and break this whole thing down.
Yeah, this is the third game that we've done Arcadia on the yellow pad so far this season. We also did the Mesquite and the Snowflake games. I was quickly checking there. This is the 4A championship game. It's Friday afternoon, 3 p.m. at ASU. Micah Mountain Thunderbolts 11-2 against the Arcadia Titans 13-0. Micah Mountain the 7 seed, Arcadia the top seed. Last week, Micah Mountain defeated Gila Ridge. That was on the road in Yuma, 31-3. Arcadia defeated ALA West Foothills 21-12. This is the first meeting between the teams. Micah Mountain 9-1 in the playoffs over the last 3 seasons, including this one. They are the defending 4A champ. Head coach Jay Campos in his first year with the Thunderbolts. Quarterback Jaden Christ, a senior, 1,710 passing yards, 21 TDs. Running back Jeremiah Anderson's a junior, 670 yards, 6 touchdowns. Also Colin Axford, another running back. He's a senior, 593 yards, 11 touchdowns. So clearly they utilize a pair of backs there getting carries. A couple of wide receivers, Riley Carson, the senior, 40 catches, 769 yards and 9 touchdowns. And Evan Wheeler, another senior, 24 receptions, 453 yards and 8 TDs. On defense, you have defensive end Najee Anderson, a senior, 50 tackles, 8.5 sacks. And then the defensive back, Nick Regina, a junior, 45 tackles, 4 interceptions. Arcadia is seeking their first title since 1962. So that would be 63 years ago. So they won it in 62, and then they went 62 years without winning one. And now they have a chance to win one. They are 6-2 in the playoffs over the last 3 seasons, including this one. Head coach BJ Pascal in his first year. Quarterback Zach Smith, the senior, 2,594 yards passing, 31 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. They've kind of gone with one main back there with Ryan Jimenez. He's a senior, 1,754 yards, 20 touchdowns rushing, 22 total. A couple wide receivers. You have Ian Slater, a senior, 59 catches, 1,067 yards, and 12 TDs. Wide receiver Connor Camus is a junior, 40 receptions and 13 touchdowns. Defensive end Julian Olshon is a senior, 111 tackles to lead the team, 7.5 sacks. And safety Jackson Crone is a senior, 62 tackles, 4 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles.
Man, I love what Micah Mountain's been able to do in the short time that they've been around, because I feel like they're one of those newer schools and stuff, and they've been absolutely.
Oh, they're definitely.
They've been absolutely ruling the time that they've been around. There's a lot of talent over there, and they seem to be harboring a lot of it. you know, I remember, you know, I want to say it was like 2 years ago or something like that. Ralph said that Micah Mountain was going to be like the Hamilton of the area,
Said it
or
on the
something
show,
like
yeah.
that. And yeah, and shoot, he might definitely not be wrong. Just their
Right.
track record early. So they
Yeah,
got one championship.
they had in the 2020 COVID season, they were launching their freshman team, and they only got to play 2 games as I think it might have been freshman sophomore, but it was the freshman. I think it was just freshman actually. Then the next year they played an independent schedule. They played some JVs. They did play some varsity teams in 21, and then 22 was their first year in the 4A. They went 6-4, and then of course last year, or no, I'm sorry, we skipped a year. And then 23, they went to the semis. They played that Canyon Del Oro team that had the running back that went down to U of A.
Yeah.
And then of course last year they ran the table, went 14-0, won the championship right there at ASU, and now this year they start the season 2-2, and then they went through and they've won 8 in a row.
No, man, they've been special, and that
9
you know,
in a row.
I mean, I haven't had the chance to go see them. I haven't seen. The only time I've ever seen them is last year at ASU. I did have Brittany Boyer tell me that that the team is incredibly talented and will be something to watch. Man, it's hard for me to bet against this Arcadia team.
She was a little surprised though, because she was at one of their 2 losses, the ALA West Foothills, and so it was a little bit of a surprise that that they did, you know, because they lost almost all the guys that were on their defense last year.
And they had a pair of those bookend guys that were dogs that had some offers too. So, but this Arcadia team, Coach Pascal, amazing job. This is his first year there. So like, you know, so I don't want to say I'm surprised just because I know the talent that they have, but man, like incredible job by Coach Pascal. Zach Smith, that's my guy, man. I've been watching him for a while now. I got to watch him last year make one of his first starts.
His second year as a starter, right?
Yeah. Well, last year I think they had Braylon Rooney, and then like he came in and started a couple games, and I got to watch one of his starts. Was that last year or the year before? I can't remember now. I'm losing track of the years. There's so many kids to keep up with. But Zach Smith, amazing athlete to watch. I think that this game's gonna be incredible. But I'm betting on my guy Zach. I'm betting on Zach. Always bet on Zach. So I'm gonna bet on Zach Smith and Arcadia. Give me Arcadia to win this game. I'm gonna say by a touchdown.
Okay. I think there'll be some points in this game. I think both offenses, as we mentioned there, those guys are pretty good. Smith started about half the games last season. It was kind of a shared duty with him and Rooney at the same time. I don't know if there was injury there.
Rooney had injury issues. Rooney had injury issues.
Yeah, I think they did.
So he's in and out.
But they had a really good season last year. I like the seniors that Arcadia has in the skill positions, namely Smith, Jimenez, and Slater. They've had really big years, and I think they've been ready for this moment. I think we'll see the streak end for 62 consecutive years without a championship since 62, and we'll take Arcadia, who was the lone #1 seed to make it to championship weekend. And take the Titans 33-28.
Crazy. They could be true or false. They could be with a victory. They would be our only undefeated champion in the state, right? They would be our only undefeated champion. That's facts. It's got to be facts. I know it's facts because Desert Edge lost and Hamilton lost. So okay, so there's that. Hey, I think Arcadia is phenomenal, man. Shout out to Coach Pascal and Micah Mountain done an amazing job this year also. So shout out to them and the incredible job that they've done getting the opportunity to come to Sun Devil Stadium. And you know, I don't want to say hopefully, but you know, hopefully the Valley team can get the dub this time because what happened, you know, on last Friday, you know, it's disappointing. But there's that. All right. This is actually becoming my favorite part of the Inside the Numbers segment, where I get to let my guy Gridiron bring up the manual scoreboard real quick. So We'll jump into the spotlight in a second.
Going.
Can you hear me? Hello? Did I lose my guy Gridiron? If anybody's in there and in the chat and can hear me, let me know in the comments because
I can barely hear you. It kind of gets garbled at times. Is it time to show the score? Is that where we are?
Manual scoreboard, yeah. Manual standings.
What's that?
Manual standings.
What's that?
Manual standings. Hold on. We're going to let you, boom, jump back on. Okay. Whoa. I lost him. Okay. Trying to figure out what's going on with the connection here. Let me see if I can get my guy to jump back on. All right. But we are going to get to these manual standings. Your boy Chili is closing the gap. That is the most important part. Also waiting on my guy Beetlejuice to check in. He should be checking in sometime shortly because we do got some special things that we would like to talk about as we make our way through finishing the show and looking forward to I guess the early signing day is what it officially is. But does that mean that like the February signing day doesn't even matter anymore? Like I feel like it does, but I don't know. But yeah, anyways, just waiting for Gridiron to sign back on, and then we'll continue. We'll roll on with the show. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on in the world of local Arizona high school football. There's going to be some coaching opportunities that I keep hearing the rumors around Saguaro. I have heard a name, one that I am not going to share yet, but I have heard a name that is very, very that they are interested in and that is interested in this opportunity. Boom. Okay, we're back. Kind of.
Here we are.
Gridiron, you there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Tell me.
It's still kind of garbled. I can't. Do you want the score? Is that what you want?
Yeah. Manual standings. Bring it up. I don't know what's going on here. Hold on. Let me see here. All right. Gridiron, can you hear me better?
Okay, I'm having to catch you on a few seconds delay on the other app there. Last week you did it again. 6-0 over the last 3 weeks, getting me on the Desert Mountain Horizon game. I go in with my Huskies there, and Desert Mountain, of course, won it on the last second field goal, and that was puts you within 2 here. It is 21-19 now, with just 1 week to go, and we do have something in place there since we both took Arcadia in the first game.
Yeah, you are you nervous? Are you a little nervous about this?
What's that?
Are you a little nervous about the situation right now? I don't know what's going on. I don't know if that's my guy Gridiron or if that's me. Let's see if I can try to figure this out. Trying to troubleshoot this. If anybody happens to be watching the show, let me know as I try to figure out like what is going on. Oh no, that is definitely okay. That is definitely hey Gridiron. It's definitely on your side because I've had people hit me up saying that I'm clear. I don't know how to fix.
Are you hearing me okay?
Yes, I can hear you good. Here I can hear you good.
Okay. You want to go with our spotlight guy?
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
You want to go with our spotlight guy?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Okay. All right, we're gonna go to the spotlight. Man, this is gonna be tough to navigate the rest of the way. All right, share screen. Boom. We are going to our Inside the Number spotlight player. I can't wait to talk about this kid because we were originally about to do this last week, but we're going to show some love to one and only. we are going to show some love to the one and only super talented wide receiver, Cash Brock from Basha, committed to Iowa State. Gridiron, I'll let you take it away.
Basha.
He's from Basha. He's from Basha.
That's right. Cash Brock from Basha, 6'3", 175, wide receiver, Iowa State committed, you see on the bottom there. 50 catches for 832 yards, 10 touchdowns this season, has 300-yard games. His high game was 6 catches for 138 yards and 2 TDs against Mesa this season. He's also run track for Basha, running 100 and doing hurdles for both 110 and 300 meters. Did just flip his commitment last week from Colorado State to Iowa State. Had 9 total offers, including Arizona, Northwestern, and San Diego State. Visited Iowa State for the Cyclones' win over Kansas. Iowa State wide receivers coach Noah Pauley. He has helped develop 2 players that were NFL draft picks last April from the Cyclones. So that was one of the features there that was attracting Cash over to ISU. Of course, this Saturday night, Basha 11-1 and Chandler 10-2 in the open final at ASU, 6 p.m.
Man, hey, this game, the magnitude of what we are about to see in this game, and we might get to that in a little bit, depending on if we can figure this whole voice situation out. Because I want to be able to. I want to make sure that my guy Gridiron can fully hear me. All right, we are going to move on. We are going to move on and talk about what is coming up next. We got one more game to break down. Let's see if we can get this going here. Boom, boom.
Over here.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Okay.
Hey. Big game of the week. This is going to be the decider. I feel like me and Gridiron are going to be on opposite sides of this one. Just gotta figure this thing out and really soak this one in. Centennial versus Castile. Coach Taylor from Centennial ready to take his team to the second of what would be back-to-back championships if they can pull off the victory. Players to watch over here. Quarterback Titus Hill is an absolute dog. Running back Owen Reynoso has been absolutely special. One of my favorite players over there at Centennial. Been watching him since his freshman year. Tight end wide receiver Torrin Hill, the recipient of the Hill Mary that took place over there a couple weeks ago at Centennial. Wide receiver Carter Reedy, a pair of linebackers, a trio of linebackers actually over there. Aiden Torres, Joseph Gonzalez, Luke Franklin, a defensive back Devin Taylor is absolutely special. Sebastian Moreno. As an X factor over there, I think that the kid's an absolute playmaker. Given the opportunity, I think that he can get loose. Elijah Carruthers is also a dude over there that I like on defense. For Castile, CUSD, fully representing, helping out to try to sweep the top of Arizona's championships. Coach Bushman, pound the rock. He's been absolutely amazing in his first year over there at Castile. He's got a quarterback that's been going crazy lately, T. Smith, since game 6. Running back Wyatt DeFreitas that we've talked about a few times. One of my favorite wide receivers. I got a pair of receivers over there that I like, but one of my favorite wide receivers over there, Troy Hodeggy. This kid is absolutely special. I've seen him in sevens, and he can help out in the return game also. All-around athlete, can probably flip around on defense and contribute a little bit too if necessary. Brody Smith, a lengthy receiver that can make some big catches in timely situations. Pair of linebackers over there, Jackson Hamilton, Chase Wyatt. And then defensive lineman Brady Casper and defensive back Kobe Olivares. Hey, this team is absolutely phenomenal, especially lately. Super slept on. I don't think that anybody had them penciled in to make it this far. Gridiron, I'm going to let you take it away and talk about this matchup. Go inside the numbers, Centennial Castile.
Ready to break it down?
Yep.
Okay, because it kind of faded out on me again. We got the 6A final here. Castile Colts 8-5 and the Centennial Coyotes 9-4. This will be Saturday at noon at ASU. Last week, Castile defeated Sal Point 37-28. Centennial defeated ALA Queen Creek, a game I was at 35-23. Last time these two teams played was just last year. It was in the quarterfinals. It was one of those road games the Centennial had to win to get to the 6A championship last year, and they did it on the road, 37-14 at Castile. Castile is outscoring their opponents 118-113 in 3 playoff games this season. So they're 2-1 in those games, because remember they had the open play-in, but they're definitely putting points up, and they're allowing some points also. Joe Bushman in his first year as head coach for the Colts. Quarterback, you have T. Smith, the junior, dual threat, 2,089 passing yards, 20 touchdown passes. Plus, he's got 751 rush yards and 13 touchdowns in just 8 games. Had to sit the first 5 after transferring. Running back Wyatt DeFreitas, a junior, 594 yards, 4 touchdowns. Wide receiver Troy Jareggi is a junior, 40 catches for 679 yards, 7 touchdowns. Plus, he has 3 rushing touchdowns and 2 kick return TDs for a total of 12. On defense, linebacker Chase Wyatt is a senior, 58 tackles, 6 sacks, 2 interceptions. And defensive end Brady Casper, a senior, 31 tackles, 6 sacks. For Centennial, they have scored 76 points over the last 2 weeks. Head coach, of course, is Andrew Taylor in his first year in that position. Quarterback is Titus Hill, the sophomore, 2,493 yards, 24 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. Running back Owen Reynoso is a senior, 986 yards rushing and 11 touchdowns. Wide receiver Carter Reedy is a senior, 25 catches, 577 yards and 6 TDs. On defense, you have linebacker Aiden Torres. He's a sophomore, 89 tackles, 7 sacks, had a pick 6 last week. That was big in the first half of that game. Linebacker Nathaniel Olmos, 47 tackles and 4 interceptions.
Okay, let's see here. All right, can you hear me? I gotta make sure that this is working. We are having all sorts of issues right now, but
yeah, I'm trying to move the phone around to try to get a better connection.
And he can't. Gridiron, you there? Oh, Gridiron. Gridiron, can you hear me? Yes or no? I know he just broke down. The team. So there's that. Okay. Hey, Gridiron, can you hear me? I'm not gonna.
A little bit.
Okay.
Did you get a pick yet?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay.
You go first.
Castile's defense has allowed 28 or more points in 4 straight weeks. I think the Coyotes can score both running and passing. I'm going to take Centennial in this one, 34-24.
Man, I love Centennial. I love what Coach Taylor's doing. I've seen them versus Hamilton. I've seen what they're capable of. I know they lost that game. I love Coach Carter and the way he coaches those defensive backs. I think that this team is going to be ready. But Coach Bushman and what he's brought to this Castile program, I think that Coach Bushman's absolutely phenomenal. I love the way he runs this program from top to bottom. I'm going Castile. I'm going to go Castile. And because we're on opposite sides of this has to be the 3-point game that helps me get this dub.
3-point game.
Okay. That's what I like to hear. Gridiron, you can hear me okay?
I could hear that part, yes. And just to talk about Joe Bushman, he came over from a college program in Oregon. So he's been used to running a college team. And I'm sure that a lot of things he does at Castile are at, that raised level compared to what, most high school programs do.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I haven't seen Castile live, but I've seen a lot of their tape. I've seen Coach Bushman's program, the way that it runs from the bottom, at least on that freshman level. I am super impressed with what he is doing over there. So I'm comfortable with taking Castile and Castile's.
And I get to I got to see the Colts on what might have been one of their best nights of the season when they shut out Queen Creek 27-0.
Okay, that's big. All right, you can hear me okay, right? You can hear me okay.
It's kind of coming and going.
I wonder. I got Beetle in the lobby. Beetle, can you hear me okay? Okay, Beetle can hear me okay. So that's on your end then. That means that it's on your end. That's weird. We're gonna figure out that whole. I don't know how, but we're going to. Let me see.
I think I might have to let you do this last segment by yourself here.
Okay. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna let Beetle do this segment with me. And then me and Beetle are gonna transition into something else. Gridiron, I'm gonna let you take care of business and I'm gonna catch you next week, okay? Cool. Okay. My guy's struggling. We're trying to figure this whole thing out.
Yo, man, there's a lot of brothers out there flaking and perking, scared to kick reality.
The craziest part about a live show is you just never know how things are going to work themselves out. And when one of your esteemed co-host contributors is going to be shoveling food and milk into their face and get brought on, you just never know. Sometimes that's how it happens. There we go. Hey, listen, it's all good because Cody used to be like mid-meal jumping on the show and contributing. So
see, I thought it was safe because I'll make my dinner right as the beginning of the show starts. I'll eat it and I'll be done eating right before I hop on.
Hey,
but I still got some bacon.
Hey,
a little egg sandwich.
You made that yourself?
Yeah, dude.
Shoot, I didn't know that the little college kid could actually throw some
Chef
things
Beetle
together.
in the kitchen, bro. Chef Beetle be in the kitchen.
Oh my goodness. All right. Chef Beetle. Now he's Chef Beetle. All right. Hey, listen, me and Gridiron are going to do something. We're going to do something super cool. Talk about some things that I think you're pretty familiar with. So I'm going to let you steal this part of his segment. He's given his blessing to this. So this is the final part of the Inside the Numbers segment that we were going to do. And what we were going to do is we were going to take a deeper dive, an inside look, not necessarily prediction based, but we're going to take a look at this Open Division Championship. And let me see if I can get this thing to pull up, or maybe it doesn't want to pull up for you because you are not actual Inside the Numbers man. Who knows? But we do got a yellow pad. We did put together the yellow pad for Chandler Basher, this big matchup.
Is that what these graphics are officially called? The yellow pad?
We call I
like it. No, it's clever. I like it.
Because Gridiron is the yellow pad guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But it's look, it is. We try to do things a certain way over here on the show. So listen, this game, we got our first taste of this in the summer, hosted by Adam Beetle himself at Flight Club. I don't know if you remember that part or not, because it all happened so fast. The season's just gone by like that.
Crazy, man.
Basha versus Chandler. Now we've seen a lot of things in Flight Club. We've seen Coach Mons take a young Saguaro team, win a championship, and then go on to win the Open Division Championship. We saw Coach McDonald with Damon Williams win a Flight Club championship and then go on to win an Open Division Championship. We've seen Higley go back to back and win their 5A state championship and then go into the Open. And now we get this unique opportunity. I feel like it's somewhat of a unique opportunity. I know I'm missing a team in there somewhere, but we got a somewhat unique opportunity. Basha versus Chandler, which was the 7-on-7 Flight Club Championship match. And these are some key matchups that I have.
I think in a way, I was just going to say, I think in a way, this matchup makes up for Higley kind of getting snubbed of potentially going to the 5A state championship last year. Because you talk about the results of Flight Club, right? Yeah. Each team ended up making a championship game. And I think what we have here is kind of making up for, in a sense, Higley unwillingly going into the Open.
That's right. They wanted that smoke though. Like
I
you
know
ask
they
some of
did.
those kids, like they're like, "Hey man, we done the 5A thing. We done rolled the 5A for 2 years straight. Like, look, it's all juicy and greasy and like your food right there. And we'll jump into this open division bracket and see what's what. And they got that taste versus Liberty, and I don't know that they like that as much. But back down from no one, and they're all dogs. So yeah, we got Basha versus Chandler and some key matchups while you finish shoveling food in your mouth. It's all good. We're good. Some key matchups. Quarterback Jake Rogers, who's come on the scene lately and absolutely taking care of business for Basha as quarterback, versus defensive back Austin Reese, who's an absolute dog for Chandler. Running back Noah Roberts versus the downhill hitter, defensive back Hamisi Juma. Linebacker and defensive lineman Dante Bruley and Eli Kramer Cronin versus Will Menzel. How do they keep him in check, keep him from making plays with his feet? Basha's O-line versus Chandler's O-line. Not necessarily head-to-head, but Basha's O-line, I think, came into the season kind of ranked the number one offensive line in the state. Chandler's offensive line recently, with their body of work and what they've done, and especially with what they've been able to do in this playoff run, kind of solidifying themselves as possibly the number one offensive line in the state. Some X factors on both sides. One of them, running back Josh the Train Gaines over there, who I know is a good friend of yours from your Hamilton days. An absolute X factor for Basha, a punishing runner. Chandler, athlete, defensive back, wide receiver, two-way stud. Jai Jones for Chandler. I think that this kid might be the best two-way football player in the state of Arizona, maybe on the West Coast. You never know. And then head coaches, Coach McDonald for Basha, Coach Wisdom from Chandler. Your thoughts breaking this whole thing down? How does this all look to you? Is this about accurate? What's missing?
No, I think this. I think these are some great comparisons. I think there's a bit to pull from each. First off, starting with the first one, I think you got to give Jake Rogers a lot of flowers for what he's been able to do the last couple of weeks. They like to use the cliche, the next man up mentality. I think Jake Rogers has really taken that cliche to a whole new meaning and level. Just because. I think a lot of times when you do talk about that next man up mentality, there's always maybe that underlying cause that guys are not necessarily mad that they weren't the starters in the first place, but feel like they were a little bit more deserving. And I think in Jake's case, this is one of the most humble kids I've ever talked to. And he has just sincerely appreciated just the opportunity to kind of sit behind Brody and learn and be able to grow as a person and a quarterback. So I really commend the two, Jake and Brody, for being able to work so well together. And now to see kind of Jake take this latter end of the season is really cool. And the way he's just kind of been able to lead this team. And we still have a whole nother year of Jake as well, which is really exciting. Noah Robertson and Hamisi Juma. I think what intrigues me, even though you've got Hamisi listed in this matchup, is that is the true capability of Noah Roberts, that he is able to break free and get into space and get into that second level, which Hamisi, floats around in. So I think it's going to be a challenge. Chandler did a really amazing job at shutting down Hamilton's run game on Saturday, like completely shut it down. I think they knew that was going to be a lot of their game plan for the most part going into the game, and they executed what they wanted to do defensively to perfection. And I think the little trick here for Basha is that I feel like right now, compared to the beginning of the year where I felt like they were a lot more pass than they were run, they're a lot more evenly split between the run and pass right now. So this proposes a good matchup just for those two sides looking at it. And then the most intriguing of them all, I think, is this one between, I think you have Eli Kramer Cronin right there. It's got a weird.
I got Bruley and Kramer Cronin.
Okay, they're both there. It looks a little odd on my screen, but I think this is the matchup that matters a lot, because I think Basha utilizes both Cronin and Bruley in interesting ways that put pressure on the quarterback. And I know, anybody that's watched Arizona high school football this season, anybody that's watched Chandler, has been able to see what Will Menzel is capable of doing if you don't put pressure on him. And that is just absolutely torch you. And so that is probably one of the biggest keys for Basha in this game, is finding a way to put as much pressure as they can on Menzel. The big thing, though, is that Menzel has really developed into a big-time dual threat quarterback this year, and honestly, my honest view going into the season, that is not one of the things I expected. I didn't expect Will Menzel to really go to the ground game as much as he has this season, or be as dominant necessarily on the ground game. I think that was one of the things coming out of last season, going into the offseason, I was most kind of intrigued by to see him and a couple of the 27 quarterbacks, intrigued by how much they would really turn up their ground game. And Will Menzel has executed that perfectly. And then we see the trenches battle. This is probably going to be the most vital part of this game. I think whichever team is able to sustain the longest in the trenches is the one that's going to be able to go away and win this game. So I'm just really excited. Like you mentioned, Jai Jones, also in my opinion, one of the best two-way players on the West Coast for sure. I'm just super excited to watch this game. These are two really great teams that have battled all year, and most importantly, they're very well coached. Chris McDonald has been in this situation before. He knows how to go about his business. He knows how to prepare his team, how to get them ready. And for Coach Ty Wisdom, I don't think a lot of people know he won a state championship last year in Nebraska with Millard South. And so this is like just getting back to it for Ty Wisdom. This is business as usual. I think he's done an incredible job in year one, getting his guys coached up. Something really cool I talked with Will about yesterday, is he told me that he and Coach Wisdom sit together during Will's lunch period every single day, just the two of them, and watch film. And I think not only is that great just to, game plan and figure things out, but when you have a head coach and a quarterback that has that kind of relationship, that is dangerous. And that can be dangerous for other teams. So I'm really excited to see what kind of offense production Chandler's going to put out. I think they're coming off their best game on the ground. Defensively, I think this was the first game this season they played a full 48 minutes. And for Basha, they've been in this position before. I know they're hungry as ever. And so, yeah, it's gonna be competitive, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
No, I can't wait, man. I think that this game is going to be phenomenal. If somebody would have told you at the beginning of the season, after you were done hosting Flight Club, that you were going to see Chandler versus Basha for the Open Division Championship, would you have been like, nah, that's not going to happen? Or would you have been like, oh yeah, probably?
On August 26th, on episode 2 of the Seatown Rivals podcast, I said that Basha and Chandler would meet each other in the Open Division Championship.
I love it. I just,
I did see it coming.
I think the preview that, we've all been able to, that we were all able to get, the spiciness, the talking back and forth. Listen,
it started for both teams right after they won the semifinal. I mean, we went from two teams trying to get into the Open to all of a sudden bantering each other right after the game, and I love it. I'm here for it. It's great.
We had me and Cam had Jai Jones on last night, and he said when Noah Roberts comes down the alley, comes down his way, he's gonna meet him at pad level. He's gonna square up and meet him pad level. So he said it's not gonna be nothing trying to push him out of bounds. He's gonna meet him pad level and go, hey, aim high, Willis, aim high. So he's gonna come get him. That's his dog. They're boys. That's his dog, and he's gonna get him. So at least that's what he said. So
I think that's another special part about this matchup too, is a lot of these guys on both of these teams have played with each other growing up. That's a cool thing about this kind of being a district state championship, is a lot of these guys have known each other for a really, really long time. We say that about a lot of teams when they play each other during the season, but I feel like in a matchup like this, that is one of the bigger things to point out. I
know. Did you see the dropping dime segment? This is
no
Jai
way.
And Noah. This is Jai and Noah playing 10U.
That's incredible.
10U sevens together. Celebrating each other on the same team. So look, man, I can't wait. I'm pleading with the refs. Listen, I know you don't want the game to get out of hand, but let these kids be kids.
Yep.
Let these kids bring the schoolyard element to the game so that we can all enjoy this. I wish we could mic some of these kids up. I wish we could mic up Noah or Jai or Will, because Will's another one, man. I remember him at Flight Club throwing the pass and turning around, already walking to the sideline before the completion even happened.
Like, and people like, correct me if I'm wrong. This game, I mean, I don't remember it clear as day, but this game pretty much came down to like the final 20 seconds. I think Basha took a touchdown to lead, and then they shut Chandler down. Chandler couldn't respond, so Basha won.
No, Chandler, Will Menzel threw a dot to the receiver, and then the Basha defensive back smacked it out of his hand.
That's right.
That was the end of it. That was the end of it. I'm telling you, this is going to be.
I remember. Part of that game, Ty Wisdom was fired up. He was. I mean, that was what was so great about those two teams playing each other. Is, you know, Basha hadn't lost. People got to remember, Basha hadn't lost a game all summer, and so if you think about it, Basha didn't lose a game from June until October 24th, and they played Hamilton. They had gone undefeated up until that point, and this was like I think it was the first time they had played Chandler all summer, and I think a lot of us were in the consensus just based on watching Basha that this was probably the only team that was going to give Basha a serious run for the money. They came close, and there were some other teams that came close in a couple of games, but none of them were down to the wire like this one was.
Hey, I remember right after the end of that sevens match at Flight Club, Coach Wisdom a little bit irritated because his team lost, but he said, Chili, great tournament. I loved it. Great competition. My team versus anybody, whenever, wherever. So like, I know that there's been a lot said that Chandler made a comment that Basha didn't want to see them. One, I know that that's not true, but I know that Wisdom has a lot of faith in his guys to be able to dig themselves out of any hole and come through and take care of business when it is absolutely necessary. So, you know, we'll see what happens on Saturday, but this is going to be absolute theater, and I can't wait. But what we really wanted to talk about tonight, me and my guy Beetle, last year we did an amazing signing day special, of which we're not going to be able to do this year. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. So what we are going to do is we're going to talk about a handful of kids. Who's the first one that we're going to talk about? This is the first one that we're going to talk about. Your boy who always hits you up when you're working, usually at games and stuff like that. It's all good. I'm not judging.
No, I'm just saying.
You guys are like the same age. So I want to shout out my guy.
I can't flake the kid.
No, I'm kidding. No, he's absolutely special. One of the top offensive producers in the country, not just in Arizona. Super talented quarterback from all the way up there in Cave Creek, over there at Cactus Shadows, making his way over to NAU. Your thoughts on this one, man? I know that Wright and Roshman and the staff over there are ecstatic about Donovan Dixon. Your thoughts on this one and how this fits?
Yeah, I think NAU is going to end up with one of the biggest steals of this class.
Agreed.
I think I see a serious pathway. You know, I'm going to be honest, just from a media perspective, I see a world where, you know, I think Ty Pennington had a really great year this year at NAU, that he decides to, you know, kind of test things and enter the transfer portal. I think if that happens, we could be having a serious conversation about Donovan Dixon being the starting quarterback at Northern Arizona starting next season. I think he's proved it. I think it would be a sort of a great story for sure. And just to kind of talk about all the school records that Donovan Dixon set while at Cactus Shadows, he is number one in career passing touchdowns with 102, number one in passing yards with 9,764, number one in passing completions with 718, number one in passing completions in a single game with 39, number one in rushing touchdowns with 45, number one in rushing yards in a game with 277, and number one in total career yards at 13,874. He's
incredible, man.
That is insane.
I've got to watch him play numerous times. I've got to see him compete at camps. I got to watch him do sevens. The kid is absolutely a one of one, and a lot of these kids are.
Yeah.
And you know, but just the way he conducts himself, there's so many quote unquote dual threat quarterbacks out there that are afraid to line up as a defensive back or a wide receiver or a running back or whatever. Donovan Dixon has never been that. Wherever you need him, he will play. In sevens, I have seen him literally go to a variety of coaches and say, hey, put me at defensive back. They're not going to complete a pass. It's all good. And then he'll flip around and play quarterback and throw like 3 touchdowns or whatever he needs for his team to win. He's just such an absolute gift. So I'm super excited for NAU. I'm super excited for my guy Rashma. I'm super excited for Wright. I think that this is going to be an absolute steal, just like yourself. We're going to move on and talk about another player, Justice Brathwaite from Higley. He does not have a cool graphic like Donovan does, but super cool kid, a Flight Club MVP, a state champion, who I believe to be the best pure cover guy. I know he's part of a scheme over there that allows him to kind of do the Richard Sherman thing, but covers his area well and super talented defensive back. Your thoughts on Justice Brathwaite from Higley?
Yeah, he's a great player, and the times I've gotten to watch him, it feels like every time I go to watch Higley and he's out there on the field, the opposing team they're playing is having to turn to the run because they just can't complete a pass through Higley's secondary. And I think that speaks volumes to his talent. I've really seen him mature as a person too, as well, over the years. I think he's done a great job of kind of turning into a mentor for some of those younger guys on that Higley team, like Nasim Eason. To be honest, like when I watch Justice Brathwaite and Nasim play together, it's like watching identical twins. I think they compete at a really high level. And Justice, the thing that sticks out to me about Justice is he's been locked in at BYU for a really, really long time. And when you have that kind of commitment from a player in this day and age, I think that tells a lot that the kid's going to be super successful. So I hope nothing but the best for Justice in the future. I think he's at a great team. Their head coach is sticking around now. So that's super cool to see, and really excited to see what kind of player he develops into. BYU's developed some really good defensive backs from the state of Arizona over the last couple of years, and a lot of them have played very early on in their career. So I'm interested to see how Justice breaks through early and maybe can get some snaps in his freshman season.
No, for sure. And Justice big on competition. He always wanted the toughest assignments. I remember versus Marana, even though it was a foregone conclusion that at some point during that Marana Higley game that Desmond Roebuck would be getting that receptions record, Justice still, he did not care about the whole like, hey, I might be in this video or whatever. I want the assignment. I want to try to shut this guy down. I want the coverage assignment. I want to be in that area, whatever it is. So shout out to my guy, Justice, and the amazing job that he's done over there at Higley, helping to build the culture over there, that Higley Penitentiary, all that stuff. Moving on to another player. This is one of my favorite guys in the class. Super special athlete, all around athlete, multi-sport guy from Tolleson. Rico Blasingame, one of the most gifted receivers out there with length, can run, an absolute strider, great hands. Rico Blasingame has been an absolute gift and committed to Minnesota a while back. Your thought on Rico Blasingame?
Yeah, this is another kid. It was another team I think is getting a steal. And I wanted to make sure that we talked about Rico because I don't always feel like he's gotten his flowers from the media just because, Tolleson always hasn't been at the top. But what him and Youngmin Lee did together this year at Tolleson through the beginning of the season, they couldn't really sustain that same success once they got into region play. But some of the things they did early on in the season were special. And just getting to see this guy make the kind of moves he was making, and his ability to just go up and get the ball is truly special. I think he is going to find himself thriving in a type of offense like Minnesota that likes to, go up and compete, give some of those go balls every now and then. Minnesota's offense is very dynamic, and I think Rico is a dynamic playmaker as well. And so I think there's going to be a variety of ways he's going to be able to fit into that offense, and his size as well. I think there's a lot to appreciate with that. So I just, huge congrats to the high school career Rico had. I think he's going to be remembered as a guy at Tolleson that stuck around no matter what and was Tolleson through and through. Played all 4 years there. Even when, you know, some of his teammates left to go to other schools or went out of state, he said, no, I'm staying here. I want to play for Tolleson. And I respect that a lot in this day and age. So shout out to Rico, and really hoping that he has one heck of a career in Minnesota.
All right. Another kid that I want to show some love to that we don't have a graphic on for whatever reason. Some kids may have gotten their graphics out later, whatever. Cameron Hamill from Desert Edge, a super talented defensive back, committed to A&M. An absolute dude. Got secondary versatility, can probably play anywhere in that secondary. Could probably be a nice little nickel, a hitter, a downhill guy. Your thoughts on Cam?
I love Cam so much because it's not every day that you hear from a kid that they want to play nickel and be a nickel and go somewhere where they can excel at playing nickel. And when I talked to him at the beginning of the year, right after he had committed to Texas A&M, his big thing was they see who I am and the position I want to play. And they're all for developing me in that area. So that's what I took away the most is that he is, you know, willing to, you know, go succeed in an area that is not very common for players to want to go willingly succeed in. And I think that's what makes him a special player. And to be honest, you don't really hear too many people talking about Cam Hamill, and that's a good reason because nobody is really throwing his way. And at the same time, he is just able to wreak a lot of havoc. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do in the SEC. We've got a couple of guys from the West Side out in the SEC now, and his former teammate as well, Jamar Bill Goins, was out there at Texas A&M. So that could be potentially a fun duo to watch out there on the field someday.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, we're gonna run through. There's a bunch of kids that we had that signed. Jelani Miller from Desert Edge going to Stanford. Also, another kid going to Stanford, Dalen Sharper from Brophy. Devin Fitzgerald. Spend some time talking about Devin. Listen. Some transparency here. That Beetle may not appreciate from me so much. Me and Beetle have been in conversations over food about the best wide receiver in the state or whatever. Devin Fitzgerald absolutely in that conversation, and the job that he has done this year cannot be ignored. What he did versus Hamilton, I know it was in a loss. What he did versus Chandler, I know that it was in a loss. But he saved his biggest games for those games that his team needed him the most in. And he takes all of that to Notre Dame. Look, your thoughts on Devin Fitzgerald and what you expect from him when he hits South Bend?
I think he's going to be just like his dad, man. Like, and you know, I don't like to use that comparison a lot because I know they're two separate players and they've all got their own path. But there are so many similarities between, you know, watching his dad and watching Devin. It's kind of crazy. And I hope he gets a shot to play really early. You know, and I hope that he's not in college for super long because I think he could go make an immediate impact in the NFL. And I'm super excited to see what he does. A lot of upside. I truly think that he is the best the best wide receiver in this class. And really excited to see what he does in the future.
I did his dad's celebrity softball game for years.
Yeah,
he'll probably kill me when he gets around to listening to this. I did not know his dad when his dad was Devin's age. I've watched Devin literally like grow up though, and what I do think and know is I do think and believe that Devin at this point in life is a better athlete than Larry was at this very, very same point. At this very, very same point. I think Larry developed a little bit later on.
I'd have to agree with that.
That is just my opinion. So Devin has a very, very unique opportunity, and I do not want to put too much pressure on him, but to build on what he's already got that's so amazing within him to stand out and be very, very different. That going to be a Hall of Fame career.
You know, I don't think it will be too much pressure for him though, because I think he's got so many good people around him
For sure.
that has developed him into the kind of person and player that he is. And going to play for a guy like Marcus Freeman, who in my opinion is I was watching I forget, it was a podcast. I saw a clip or something. It was them talking to Ryan Day. And they were asking Ryan Day, like, who would be like the one guy you went out and like just asked for like life advice or dad advice or something like that. And the one guy he mentioned was Dabo Sweeney, but the other guy he kind of alluded to was Marcus Freeman as well. And I think that's what makes this fit so well, is these are just two really good people. And I can't wait to see, how their relationship grows and how Devin, evolves as a player at a place like Notre Dame that, every year is competing for college football playoff and national championship. So it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, he's going to be an absolute dude. I don't want to ignore a handful of other players on Brophy. Case Vanden Bosch, I think he's going to be a fantastic quarterback.
Dude, he is the most perfect quarterback for that Air Force offense. And after watching that Castile game, I was like, man, this kid is going to excel at Air Force.
James Pike, who I believe is going to Arizona.
Yep.
And I think that he'll, when given an opportunity, I think that his on-field IQ alone will have him prepared for what he needs to do over there. Deshaun Crine, I believe, is going to, I want to say it's Idaho. Is it Idaho?
He is going to, I had it right
Idaho.
here.
It's not Idaho.
I don't think it's Idaho.
No.
You keep going and I'll find it real quick.
So I want to show love to those guys that are committed, that are
Montana State.
Montana State. For some reason I wanted to say Idaho. I knew it wasn't Idaho though. Deshaun Crine, special defensive back over there. That's been so good for them for a while now. So I wanted to make sure that I showed him love, and I don't think that I really missed anybody else at Brophy.
Dalen Sharper.
Well, I mentioned him like right at the beginning, and then I jumped into Devin.
Got it.
Also, we do have a slew of Hamilton kids. I want to make sure that we show them love. The Jandros going to Oklahoma, Kingston going to New Mexico. Who else do we got over there that's committed?
This
Rex
group
Waterman.
This group is special for me because this was the first group, like when I really started like reporting on high school football. This was like the first freshman group that I really paid attention to and saw and watched them grow. So the Jandro
15 group.
Yeah. So the Jandro bros, Marquise Richardson, Xavier Brazil, Rex Waterman. Those are some of the guys that Kingston, those are all the guys that are committed right now. And just watching them grow has been awesome. And I knew the Jandros are going to be studs from day one from watching them in high school. And I guess Joshua Gaines too, because he was on that team.
Yeah, no, he was a dog. He was a dog. He was super.
Joshua Gaines was playing offense and defense back in the day, and he was running people over.
And also proof, like, you don't have to start your varsity career like immediately.
No,
like those kids right there that we talked about from Hamilton and the one from Basha all started their careers and played the entire freshman season on freshmen and developed.
Yeah, and Nico and Bo weren't even close to the size that they are now. Their freshman year. Not even close.
Absolute animals. Absolute animals.
Yeah.
Animals in a good way. I mean that in a good way. They're absolute beasts. I think that they're incredible. So wanted to show them some love. We've talked about a lot about the Basha Chandler kids, so we are going to move on from those two schools. One kid that I do want to, a couple kids that I want to show some love to as we make our way back to the West Valley, North Peoria specifically. We got to show some love to guys like Hudson Dunn going to Minnesota, the linebacker from Liberty, an absolute animal himself. Past St. John, the Boise State commit, the defensive lineman from Liberty. Tyler Bernstein, the Washington State commit. Also shout out to Jake Jones from Campo, also a Washington State commit. These guys were absolute problems their entire careers up there at Liberty, and also Tyler when he was over at Shadow Ridge. He was a nightmare for a lot of offensive linemen. But Beetle, your thoughts on some of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked, I think, the last couple of years about how Liberty has continuously been, the best defense in the state. And the two guys that have been leading that group since they were sophomores were Hudson Dunn and Zeth Theus. I truly believe that this is one of the best best defensive duos we've seen in Arizona. At least my time, I believe they're the best freshman duo I've seen covering Arizona high school football. And so just seeing them grow has been awesome. I think Zeth is going to be one heck of a steal for Arizona State. I think they did a good job at targeting him early, and then getting him to now sign tomorrow with them is awesome. And Hudson Dunn, I think is going to be a stud over there at Minnesota. I think there's so many different attributes of Hudson's game where you can really move him a lot around the field, and he's going to be able to make an impact. So really fun to watch these guys, and Tyler Bernstein as well, grow into the player he is. Pat St. John is another guy on that defense. And TJ Fuliafutu as well, a transfer from Tonopah Valley that came in this season. He's going to be a stud at Hawaii, man. I cannot wait to watch him.
Man, Tonopah Valley had some dogs over there.
Corey Webb Jr.
Corey Webb Jr. is an absolute animal. So want to show him some love. Real quick, since we do have a graphic for our own Forks Up, y'all know the deal. Zeth Theus, I want to take a little bit of a deeper dive into this. The local kid, staying with the local school, which I think is a special thing, because also, if I'm not mistaken, I do think that Zeth was the first commitment in that 26 class for Coach Dillingham.
He might have been
over there. Definitely. I mean, obviously, there's only two of them, but Sene Tenge, but definitely the first from Arizona. Super early, if not the first. What this means moving forward, Arizona recruiting. I think that ASU is doing a good job, and I don't think that we will truly see the fruits of their labor until the 27s and 28s. But your thoughts on this one in particular, Zeth Theus, Liberty Saguaro, and ASU.
This is a guy in a lot of ways like potential I match to how guys at ASU like Martell Hughes and Rodney Bimage and guys like that have kind of just taken the Keith Abney too, honestly, have taken the road of, okay, I'm going to come in. I'm not going to be the guy right away, but I'm going to be surrounded by a lot of great people that are going to develop me. And I'm going to have a chance to make an impact early on. I don't think Zeth will come in and have a big impact in his freshman year. I think he'll get a couple of snaps, but by the time he gets to his sophomore year, I would expect that he would kind of be tossed into that rotation. But who knows? Maybe Zeth comes in and proves that he can be a guy right away with, I expect Keith Abney to go to the draft with the kind of year he's had. Obviously, ASU will have Rodney Bimage returning. I think Javen Robinson is coming back as well, or can come back as well. In this day and age, you can't solidify that anybody's coming back with the transfer portal and all that. It's nuts. But super special career from Zeth. And I think just this dude's an all-around playmaker. Flying around the field. So yeah, just excited to see what he's going to do in Tempe. I think this was an easy lock for ASU, considering his freshman year head coach is on the coaching staff. I think it's going to be fun to dive into their relationship a little bit more once Zeth gets to ASU and being able to talk to, Mons. They can't be super, in touch like they used to because of Mons being in college and him being in high school and the whole thing. But kind of getting to see that relationship, I think, is going to be a cool start to what could be a cool pipeline for Arizona State in the state of Arizona.
No, for sure. And Liberty got more dogs over there. So I hope that this really works out and turns into that pipeline that you're talking about. But Zeth, super high IQ kid, a kid that can play downhill and can also patrol, super versatile in the back of that secondary. So I think that, he's going to be a natural fit and be able to help out in a lot of ways. I can't wait to see what his career turns into once he gets
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun watching practice and seeing Corey Butler and Zeth Theus going one-on-one against each other. True. I think they got to what would have been last year, which was a lot of fun to watch. So that'll be a fun matchup in practice to see.
Who are we missing? I feel like we're missing somebody that we should. Not including the Basha and the Chandler kids. Khalil Bender, a kid from ALA Queen Creek who was robbed of the first 5 games. Guys like him and Britton DeWitt. Khalil committed to NAU. Britton DeWitt committed to Idaho. Your thoughts on those guys and what you can expect? I think they're going to be early contributors at both spots.
What could be super interesting next year is if we're watching a Northern Arizona offense that could have Donovan Dixon at quarterback, Hayden Doherty at tight end, and Khalil Bender at wide receiver. I think that would make for one heck of an offense. So I think NAU got a steal in Bender, and that's really all I got to say on that. I mean, he's a special playmaker.
All right, the last one, the easy one, Tate Reynolds from Queen Creek, a pair of them from Queen Creek, Tate Reynolds, Bear Fisher, the tight end, these guys. Oh, yeah, and Derek Worden, the offensive lineman over there. Your thoughts over there, what Clemson's getting. I believe it's Washington State for Worden, and for Bear, it is Utah.
Yeah. I think Bear fits the mold of a lot of the tight ends we've seen at Utah over the last couple of years. He's got the size and got the strength. And so I think that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And Tate as well. I think Tate Reynolds and Dabo Sweeney is the perfect pairing. I think Tate could absolutely be the kid in the future that kind of leads Clemson back to where they once were. And the big thing about Tate that I think separates him from a lot of the Clemson quarterbacks that have come through the last couple of years is he's a little bit more versatile. He can get it done on the ground and through the air. It really sucked to not be able to see him get to play this season. Really bummed me out because I think he would have had a really, really special year.
For sure.
But shout out to him as a person and being a mentor. It seems like Sawyer Hales has really taken a lot away from being able to learn under Tate Reynolds. And he's going to be super fun to watch at Clemson for sure. And baseball too. He's going to play baseball too. So that'll be really fun.
Hey, me and Blair talked about Tate one time. Me and Blair Angulo from 24/7. We talked about Tate one time on the show. Mm-hmm. And when asked about his comps, we both had the exact same comps. Lamar Jackson at quarterback, and then Mike Trout in baseball. Your thoughts? And speaking of too much pressure, your thoughts on those comparisons? What do you think?
Man, I'm trying to think of. I don't know that I would give Tate a Lamar Jackson comparison.
Okay, who'd you compare him to?
I'm trying to think who I would really compare to. I feel like Tate is kind of fits that that Baker Mayfield mode a little bit, just in the way that because he's so versatile. I don't think he's got the same arm strength that Baker Mayfield does, but I think his ground game capabilities are there. He's maybe a little bit more of like an Oregon Marcus Mariota, a little bit.
Okay, interesting. Okay. I think he's just such a nasty between the tackles runner that's why me and Blair went with that comparison with that comp, but. Nonetheless, super talented kid. I can't wait to see what unfolds for him. And I think that pretty much covered most of them. We might have missed a few, and if we did, let us know.
I just cover them on the next one. I just want to throw out a couple real quick. Okay. 3 guys on the offensive line at Williams Field. Malachi Joyner, I think he's the best offensive lineman in this class. Colin Campbell, Omar Haba. Mason Lewis and his dog at Basha. I think he's going to be an absolute steal for Vanderbilt in the SEC. I got to show love to my guy over at Arizona Compass Prep, Keatron Harris. I think he's going to be a great player down there at U of A as well. Who else we got down here? See, I was just scrolling through trying to.
I stayed away from the Chandler Basha kids just because we spent so much time on the show.
Yeah. Corshawn Hill, I think, is going to be a great player for San Jose State. Who else we got? You talked about Jake Jones a little bit. I think he's going to be a stud at Wazoo. Briefly. Dante Bruley, I think, is going to have a chance to play early at Wyoming. I know we can't stay away from those guys, but got to throw them out there. Yeah, I think that's most of them. I will leave everybody with this though. I do expect there to be at least one major flip tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you've got our attention now. We're gonna leave it with that.
We're gonna leave it with that
tomorrow. I don't know who it's gonna be. Beetlejuice.
Oh man. Not again. Yeah.
Buckle up. It's going to be exciting times over there at Sun Devil Stadium. I would say get there early because I think that thing is going to be super thick over there. So make sure that you guys bundle up also because it is going to get cold for those evening games. Try to catch as many of the games as possible. You might as well try to catch a doubleheader. If you're going to go for the first one, you might as well go for the second one also. Other than that, you see your favorite reporters out there, your favorite media cover guys. Make sure you say what's up, Gridiron especially, my guy Adam Beadle, myself. I'm always down to chop it up and chat with the folks. Probably going to try to grab some food over there in that area. If you got a cool place to grab some food that you think I might like, feel free to let me know. Hit me up and suggest it. Chuck Box is definitely on the menu. Other than that, your boy Chili, I'm gonna make my way out of here at Just Chili, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Holler at your guy. Anything other than that, Forks Up Forever. Y'all know the deal.